Good morning and welcome back to the Frugal Dangler. You join me today on a tributary of the Bristol Avon in Wiltshire, where I'm going to be fishing the stick float or chubber float, depending on the flow, and maybe the feeder. I'm hoping for roach, chublets, maybe a bigger chub, trout. There are always lots of trout in there, and a few days. We'll be starting on the bread probably, and then go on maggots. So I will join you back in a minute when I've set up my equipment. So I'm using my roving setup today, which is a 13-foot float rod in my Sensis holder, my roving seat box, a bucket with my bait, a landing net, and I've also got a travel quiver tip rod in the holder with a landing net and a rod rest. Bait will be maggot. I've got some pinkies as well left over from yesterday, and I've also got some bread punch and a little bit of bread flake and some liquidized bread. I'm back on the peg, which I fished last time I was up here a few weeks ago. I was going to fish down there in one of the spots, but when I had a look at it, I couldn't get near the water very well. There was that big weed bed, but it went all the way along and it was a bit flooded, and I thought I'm going to slip in here. I could have fished it on the feeder, but initially when I come down here I intended to fish the float, and then I moved down to this peg. It is going through quite fast, but I thought I might have done it, but the wind's blowing downstream, which would have made it more difficult. And then I looked at my reel and I realised I only had 2.5 pound reel line on the reel, because I haven't had a chance to change it over, and it's a bit light for in here because you get some decent chub. There's a lot of snags. And then to confirm it, I started setting it up, and the reel would seize for some reason. Bang, the line snapped around the reel. So I thought, okay, I think that was a sign from from my guardian angels not to do that. So I'm on the tip now, which is quite handy because that means I can row back to my car, which is parked up that way, and fish the spot I wanted to fish initially, which is difficult to fish on the float, but I might be able to get a feeder over there, and if I get a fish, I'll sort of haul it over the top of the weed. But we'll give it a go on this. I'm going to try bread first of all. I'll put in 4 balls of liquidized bread, and I'm just letting that settle down now. And now I'm going to walk over there because there's a bin over there. But somebody's decided, rather than walking flipping 20 meters, is it? I don't know, something like that, over to this bin, they'd rather just chuck their rubbish on the floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do them a favour. I'm going to go and pick it up and put it in the bin for them. And once I've done that, I'll probably put in another ball of feed, give it a couple of minutes, and then go in a little bit of bread flake and see if I can get a fish. I'm hoping there's a chub there first of all, but they can be sort of finicky on here trying to find them, so there's a good chance my first fish will be a trout, but I don't mind that. At least it's a bite. Well, third cast, had a bite, and then it was a chub at £1/2 pound, which gave me a nice little scrap. I was on a bit of bread flake with liquidized bread. I had a couple of little chaps before that, but I felt them, but I missed them. And then the third time round, bang, it went over and had that nice chub. So let's hope there's a few more down there. I'm using a similar setup to what I was using down here last time, which is an open and homemade feeder, a £6 hook length, a size 6 circle hook, with £8 main line, and my travel feeder rods, basically what I was using last time. It seems working, it's okay for a few hours. I've got to about 3 o'clock today. Sorry, 3 o'clock, what am I at? About 1 o'clock, 1300 hours is when I've been knocking it on the head. So let's get out there again and see if we can get another fish. I've now had, oh, here we go. I've got another fish on now. I've had a chub and I've had a trout, and then I missed a cracking bite because I was having a drink, and now I've got another fish on. So I can't very well play it in and film because I'm filming on my actual camera phone, and then you can see it down there. So I'll get back to you in a bit. Well, that was another trout. No surprises there, eh? No surprises. I missed a good bite when I was having a drink of drink a Pepsi, unfortunately. It's always the same when it's like a spin, something happens, and I reckon look like the bite from someone else, maybe a chub or a roach. I don't know. Anyway, I missed it. Anyway, just had a trout. I haven't got a lot of bread on me today. I'm pretty much running out of it now. I've got sort of half a slice, and then I'm going to have to go on. I might give cheese a quick try, and then I'll be going on the maggot. But I'm not going to give it too much longer here, I don't think. Maybe about an hour, depending on how bites go, and then I'm going to have a little walk up that way and try a couple of spots, because I want to try a few different swims today before I go home. But at least I've had a few fish now. So that's 3 fish, 2 trout, 1 chub. I missed a couple of bites on the old bread. It's dried up now. I had another bite which I missed, which is the story of my life today. I'm on a big hook of 6, and I think it's small fish, the roach and stuff like that tapping away. So I'm going to put on a smaller hook in a minute, try a little bit of bread punch on that, and then go on maggot, I think, and then I'll wander up that way for a little while and try a few different spots, because to be honest, I didn't really want to fish the same spot today. I didn't feel like it, so I want to try and have a couple of places. So I've had a couple of fish. Yeah, it's gone off now. There, like I've had a couple of bites since that trout, but I don't think they're there today like they were last time I was here. I think any chance I had of getting a better chub probably on the bread's probably gone now. So I'm on bread at the moment, a big piece of bread. I thought let's just try one more time with a big piece on a 6 hook, and then we'll have a mess around, scratch around and see if I can get a few more bites from someone else. Well, I've moved spot now. I hooked a snag down there, and I did actually set up an 014 bottom of a 14 hook to try and fish a smaller bait, but I hooked snag first cast, so that was it. I hadn't had a bite for a while, so I figured a fish had spooked, so I moved up here, and I'm going to give it a try up here, and a couple of little spots up there. Try the bread first of all, and if that doesn't work, I'm going to go on the maggot. Another little trout. A nice roach. Another out of season, but a beautiful fish, and that one in our fight. So I moved up to another spot now. The one I tried down there, I had quite a nice little roach, and a couple of trout. One was a really nice trout as well, which gave me a right run around and jumped a few times in the air. It was a good fish for the trout. I do like catching trout, you know. Anyway, I've moved up to here now, so we're going to give this one a go. This is the final spot I'm trying before I go home, I think. So I'll give it. I think I've got about another hour and a half left, something like that. Yeah, I'll be knocking on it about 12:30. Because only get back by the car for 1. The parking runs out 5 hours, and I want to take my time getting changed, etc. into my normal clothes to go home. So let's give this a go. I'm going to try bread first of all. If that doesn't work, quickly change to a maggot feeder, a couple of maggots on the hook, and see if we can snare a few normal coarse fish on that. Well, I've had a little chublet from this peg, missed another bite, and just had a decent trout which went absolutely mental, tore off down there to the left. I had to go underneath that tree to try and get it, because I was using 8-pound iron, but no, it didn't get off. Give me the run around. I've run out of bread now, so I'm gonna change over to the maggot and see if I can catch a few roach on the maggot. Well, I've gone on to maggot now, so let's see if that brings a few more bites. Well, it's gone a bit quiet now for me. I've run out of bread. I'm on maggot. I haven't done too well on the maggot. I had one bite which smashed me up on the bite. I don't know if the trout bit me off or what, I don't know. And then I went on the maggot feeder for a bit, which resulted in nothing. I've gone back to a ground bait feed now, feeding liquidized bread, and I've had another big trout. And that's about it. So I'm going to give it another 20 minutes maybe, and then knock it on there, because I'm feeling a bit knackered now, and I'm not getting any more bites from the fish I was after, the roach and that. So we'll see how we get on for the next 20 minutes. Really frustrating this is. I've got chub boiling out there on my loose feed. I'm firing out my maggots, but they won't take milk bait. I've just tried a really long trace with a size 18 up and 3 maggots, but they won't have it. If I had time, I would have set up my float rod and given it a go, but I've got to go now. I've got to pack up in about 5 minutes, so frustrating. I mean, they're not really big. They're probably about a pound and a half, these chub, but they go mental from a loose feed. But I haven't got the time to try something different, try and get out. I'm so frustrating. Well, that's it for today. It started off pretty enjoyable session, but things went rapidly downhill um, when I moved up here. I ran out of bread. I stopped getting bites in on the maggot. I did have one on the maggot, and I got smashed up on the bite. I don't know what that was. It was a trout bit me off because it was on a like a hook length. And then, yeah, I just wasn't really getting any bites on the maggot apart from minnow knocks. So I started piling a load of bait in. And then some chub started rolling on the surface and all like porpoising almost, topping in front of me. And they kept going for the loose feed. But I'd run out of time. They wouldn't take it on the bomb or the feeder, on the maggot feeder, all straight lead. Even with a really long hook length, they wouldn't have it. I think they want the trotted bait. But I didn't have time to reset up everything and set up my float rod again. I only had £8 line, which I thought was feasible because the 2.5 I had was selling up with it. I think it's worn out, needs replacing because it snapped as soon. They're still topping over there now, the chub are. So frustrating, isn't it? But yeah, I could see them underneath the water. They weren't massive. They were sort of like a pound and a half chublets, really big chublets. So there might have been a bigger one down there. But if I could have got the float out, maybe they would have had it. But it's a difficult peg to fish at the moment. It's sort of flooding. There's a big weed bed there, so you can't get the presentation right. You need a long rod, like one of these the old 18, 20-foot map float rods that used to be around the sort of early 2000s, because you just couldn't get there. Even a 13-foot waggler rod, it's really difficult to trot through, I think. But if I had time, I would have given it a go and tried, but I just run out of time. Anyway, I ended up with a couple of chub. The bigger one was only about £0.5, a roach, another roach actually, and I think it was 6 trout, which went absolutely bananas. So yeah, we'll be back. Probably not again this season. This is probably the last time I come back here. It's a bit of a trek from my house coming up here. I'm not sure when I'll be out next. If I am, if the rivers drop, I will be on the Thames or one of the backwaters of the Thames, but I'm going to see what the conditions are like. It's so muddy. I mean, up here, it's just ridiculous. It's like a WW1 trench system up here, and it must be even worse in some of the places. So I'm sick of getting covered in mud. Yeah, it's like something out of the song, you know what I mean? But we'll see. I'll be back out on the bank again at some point. So until then, there's a few videos to watch. I'll see you again. I got you.